Knowledge without wisdom is like water in the sand. An old wolf knows the game. The fish sees the bait, not the hook. A man sees not the danger, only the profit. The harder the struggle, the more glorious the triumph. The most beautiful roses grow near the thorniest bushes. Wolves come during rain. The stone thrown up falls back on the thrower. Do not scorn a weak cub. He may become a brutal tiger. He who wants to build high must dig deep. It is easier to catch an escaped horse than to take back an escaped word. The last camel gets the heavy load. The strength of the nation derives from the integrity of the home. If the mind is clean, fate is good. I'd rather give it to our dog than the neighbor's dog. Bad dogs can't stomach ghee butter. The greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. A wise man remembers his friends at all times, a fool only when he has need of them. If you want to know the taste of a pear, you must change the pear by eating it yourself. If you want to know the theory and methods of revolution, you must take part in a revolution. All genuine knowledge originates in direct experience. You can never cross the ocean until you have the courage to lose sight of the shore. Do not start if afraid. Once begun, do not be afraid. Greed keeps men forever poor. Even the abundance of this world will not make them rich. Suffer in liberty rather than delight in captivity. Dawn will come, with or without the rooster. If the self tries, fate strives. Be the head of a wasp rather than the tail of a lion. Conquer one with your hands, 1,000 with your head. Don't just sit. Sit and polish. If you drink the water, follow the custom. Do not look at the teeth of a gifted horse. Measure 7 times, cut once. Eat a goat's meat while it's hot. It is better to see 1 time than to hear 100 times. Even foul water will put out a fire. If you endeavor, fate will favor you. The sun illuminates the world. Knowledge illuminates a man. Rich is he who has no debts, Fortunate he who lives without handicap. The meat-biting tooth is in the mouth. The man-biting tooth is in the soul. The supreme treasure is knowledge. The middle treasure is children. And the lowest treasure is material wealth. Don't look for bad things in the good that you do. Two bears in one cave will not end up well. The donkey recognizes the tracks of a horse. A donkey that carries me is worth more than a horse that kicks me. He who drinks dies. He who does not drink dies as well. My cat likes to eat fresh fish, but it will not go into the water. In one good word, there are 3 winters of warmth. In one malicious word, there is a pain for 6 frosty months. Don't undo your bootlaces until you have seen the river. One idiot can ask more questions than 10 wise men can answer. Once you have locked your door, you are the emperor in your own domain. A tiger wearing a bell will starve. Wise men talk about ideas, intellectuals about facts, and the ordinary man talks about what he eats. Times are not always the same. The grass is not always green. There are men who walk through the woods and see no trees. Bad person's voice is loud. Hotting bones, he can't gnaw. Drowning in water and running from a fire. Prepare the pot first, before preparing the milk. A wise man adapts himself to circumstances, as water shapes itself to the vessel that contains it. A good horse has no color. A fool may throw a stone into a well, which 100 wise men cannot pull out. An honest man is the noblest work of God. As long as there is life, there is hope. Better to light a candle than curse the darkness. Better dry crust with peace and quiet than a house full of feasting with strife. Better to be without a book than to believe a book entirely. Charity begins at home. Do not go where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path, and leave a trail. Every man's knife belongs to his own belt. For every joy, there is a price to be paid. God made relatives. Thank God, we can choose our friends. If the wind comes from an empty cave, it's not without reason. It is better to be feared than loved. It is not what is poured into a student that counts, but what is planted. Joy and sorrow are inseparable. The best mirror is an old friend. The darkest hour is just before dawn. Let him who wishes to move the world first move himself. One dog barks at something, the rest bark at him. One who runs alone cannot be outrun by anyone. Opportunity knocks at the door, but once. Respect is the foundation of love. Satisfy your thirst for knowledge before your hunger for food. The devil tempts everyone, but idle hands are his most effective tools. The eyes of the mind see everything. The man who moves a mountain begins by carrying away small stones. The more one knows, the more one knows one doesn't know. Those who do not learn from history are doomed to repeat it. Time is the wisest counselor of all. To know the road ahead, ask those coming back. Two people shorten the road. When the heart is at ease, the body is healthy. When you leave your house, make sure your mind is still at home. With time and patience, the mulberry leaf becomes a silk gown. You can't ride two horses with one butt. The person who talks a lot does not have much knowledge. The tallest tree in the forest was once just a little nut that held its ground. There is no smoke without fire. Your words are like arrows. Once released, they cannot be called back. An army of sheep led by a lion is better than an army of lions led by a sheep. Give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish and you feed him for a lifetime. He who angers you conquers you. Thank you for watching. Drop your favorite quote in the comments. Don't forget to click subscribe if you want to get our new quotes videos.